These are some old games in our basement that I thought I would show as part of Leanne's tag, because Leanne said, "What toys did you play with as a child?" And she mentioned several board games. Now, I have some newer versions of these board games upstairs in my closet. I have a newer version of Monopoly. I have a newer version of Clue. I have a newer version of like Battleship and Stratego up in my closet. But these down here are mostly the games from the 60s that have been left behind by my older brothers and sisters, and things that they didn't take with them when they moved out of the house. Some of these things down here are mine, I notice, or are newer. Like this French version of Stop Thief, which was one of my favorite, the English version was one of my favorite games in the 80s, has an electronic thing that's part of the game. It's like Clue, except it's got that gives sound effects. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. Here, Leanne, is Hands Down, which you mentioned, which was actually my brother Greg's game, as I recall. Original Battleship. Here's a very old original Monopoly game. I don't know if it's got a year on it, but how old, do you think that is? That's the board. Ants in the Pants and Cooties, those were two from my childhood. A very old Scrabble. Go for Broke. Boggle was from the 80s too. A Dallas poster that my brother gave me. Hi Ho Cherry-O, that's a very old one, I think from the 50s. A very old password game. I always liked that. That was one of my favorite TV shows as well. Here's a very old author's game. This came from like my grandparents. Don't mind the cobwebs. And, things of the past. We have quite a few things around here that you'll find. This is an old tin tractor that when you wind it up, it probably doesn't work anymore, and run, there used to be sparks that would come out of here. But anyway, such is stuff in a house from years and years ago. I see orbs. I disturbed the boxes, and now you're seeing dust particles fly about. My dad is out here cooking steak on the grill. Number 1 from Leanne, do you use a calculator at the grocery store? No, I don't. Number 2, what? I have to try and read my own handwriting. Format do you listen to music on? Nowadays, I'm just using my cell phone. Oh, look, oh, shoot. There was a woodpeckery flickery thing on the suet feeder. Of course, I moved and it flew away. So that's what I'm using pretty much, is my cell phone to, if I want to hear a song, to go to YouTube and listen to a music video. Number 3. Now I wanted to say, do chicken drop dong ditch? Do children, okay, we always called it ding dong ditch, not ding dong dash. Do kids do it here? No, they don't. I think they're scared to death maybe of me. And did I? No. You didn't do that. I would have been told vociferously in no uncertain terms that was not something that you were supposed to do. Number 4. Oh, that's the toys that you played with as a child. Well, you saw some of the board games. We played with old Barbie dolls from the 60s, the bubble cuts and the ponytails, and old G.I. Joes, and Matchbox cars, And Mego, I liked the Mego superhero dolls. I loved the Superman one and the Spider-Man one. And like Leanne, we had cards and we had board games. All the traditional stuff. We played outside. Bikes. Do you use a calculator at grocery store? I already answered that. Format of music, children, ding dong ditch. Okay, those are all of Leanne's questions. I'm waiting and I'm hoping so much that this white pine is gonna all of a sudden show some type of growth, but I'm getting discouraged. I don't see anything coming. I think it might be dead. Which sucks because I finally got it styled like I want. I finally got a neat bonsai-ish looking style, and I think it's dead. I've been pruning my deciduous bonsais to get their branch structure going, and I want to get some copper wire to better style my juniper. I never get around to it. Okay, my dad is saying it's cold out here. So on to Jasmine's tag. Uh-oh, I see some raspberries. Oh, a purple coneflower is coming. Oh, and the phlox are coming. There's going to be color back here at last. Raspberries, phlox, and purple coneflowers are on their way. I think the Jenny Wrens have raised their babies in the grapes and are gone. I think they're not in there anymore, because they would be here scolding me if their babies were still in there. The lilies are about to bloom. And I think the steak is ready to be eaten. So I will say, toodaloo.